Oh, welcome everyone. This is Dr. Josh again here with Digital Hammurabi, and we are back to do round 2 of Let's Read Some Biblical Hebrew. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited. Last time we looked at the first part of 1 Kings, and I was going to go back to that, but I thought I wanted to take a week and do kind of something fun. Not that 1 Kings isn't fun, but I thought this would be kind of an interesting break in our second stream. It's a break. There is a book out called The First Hebrew Primer, and it's an excellent. This is like the 3rd edition, maybe. Yes, 3rd edition. It's a neat book if you're learning biblical Hebrew. I highly recommend it. I used it in conjunction with Ross and Sayao and a whole bunch of other people. But one of the neat things about it is it has these cool little, particularly once you start getting into some of the more complicated aspects of the grammar, in the exercises, they start putting fairy tales in biblical Hebrew format. And that's what you're looking at here on the screen. So this one is from lesson 21. And I think I'm not going to tell you what it is. We're just kind of going to go through it. And we'll talk about, like we did last time, we'll talk about grammar and syntax. And we'll try to figure out which story it is as we go. So if you're new to this series, when I feel like doing so, I'm going to come up and translate some Hebrew, and probably later on we'll do some Greek and maybe some Aramaic, maybe some Sumerian, some Akkadian, who knows. But for now, it's easiest for me at this stage to just kind of do some Hebrew. So let's get started. So you can see there, top of the screen is the Hebrew text, and then on the bottom right, I guess, for you is a big whiteboard, and that's where I can draw and, use it as my whiteboard so we can talk about some of the Hebrew forms. Okay, so here we go. And I think you guys can all see my mouse. So, Bayamim hahem hayta isha v'la haya ben echad u'shmo Yaakov. So let's take it bit by bit, do the translation first. So in the days, so in those days, there was a woman, and literally to her there was, this is how, Hebrew says, she had, and she had, there was to her, one son, Ben Echad, and his name was Yaakov, Jacob. So let's go through this bit by bit. Okay, so if we remember the way that you write, day is yom. And if you pluralize yom, you get yamim. So yom yamim. So you can see where that much of the form comes from. It's just the plural of day. Then if we wanted to say the days, we would say hey, pathak, doubling dot. So you can see that, this and this now makes sense on that form. However, we have a bait instead of a hey. And the reason that we have that is because we want to say in. And as you recall, the hey, the lamed, the kaf, any of these prepositions, they're much stronger than the hey. I mean, look how weak this hey is. There's a big gap in the letter right here. I mean, it's just not very strong. It's not going to hold up under a lot of weight. So when that bait comes in, it destroys the hey, it collapses it, and just replaces it entirely. So all that remains is the pathak and the doubling dot from the from the article, definite article. So bayamim, in the days, in the days. Hahem, so haim is, them or their, depending on where it is. Here it's a, so the thing I want to point out about this is, if you remember, haim is they or those. When we have, sorry, let me go back. When we want to say, if we want, let's do it this way. Let's just start with haim. So they, right? Or those. So if we wanted to say the days, we want to go hey, pathak, doubling dot, right? But you remember that, oh, man, what happened? Where'd that dagish go? Let me just put it back there. Ah, man, what? It's almost as if the hey, like chet and ayin and aleph and resh, they don't like having doubling dots. They don't like dagishes in the middle. Let me try it again just to make sure. Ah, man, it disappeared. I can't believe it. It's like it resists it. It doesn't like having it. So, normally what we want to do is divide the syllable here and have one hey going that way to close a syllable and one hey going this way to open the next one. But because that hey resists that dagish, that doubling dot, you don't have that. So that means that you have to divide the syllable here, or divide the word here into syllables. And as you know, an open, this is an open syllable, a CV, and this is a CVC. So this is an open syllable, and it's unaccented. And that we know, obviously, everybody watching knows that open, unaccented syllables, they need to have long vowels. It's just how it is. Not always, obviously, but generally. So you'll notice hahem has a comets instead of a pathak. And that's because the comets is the long A vowel. And so you get compensatory lengthening. So compensatory lengthening. So in those days, there was haita. So haiti, hayita, hayit, haya, haita. So haita, there was isha, a woman. By the way, hey everybody in the side chat. Just reading through some Hebrew. This is a fairy tale that's been written in biblical Hebrew format, and hopefully you guys will be able to guess what the story is here pretty soon. So in those days, there was a woman, and to her, la, so li l'chalach lo la. If you remember your paradigm, so la is third singular. So, and to her, there was haya. So Cal Perfect, third masculine singular from haya. There was to her bain echad. So bain is son, echad is one. So one son, a son. Ushmo. So let's talk about that for a second. Oops. Switch to black. So shame means name. It's not a shame to have a name. Okay. So shame means name. If we wanted to say his name, we would put a third masculine singular object suffix, o. It's so very ugly, o, and I'm sorry about that. And of course, that means that we have to change that final, the mem sofit. We have to change that to a regular mem. So shemo, the problem is that if we divide this syllable, we divide it here, right? We know that the accent has now shifted this way. And because of that, we now have an open, unaccented syllable. And open, unaccented syllables tend to reduce to shava. And that's what's happened here, right? If you remember our rules, we say you first go to an open proprotonic syllable, which is just a really fancy way of saying if this if you've got 3 syllables here, the last syllable is well, if wherever the tone is, they call that the tonic syllable. Then the one before that is the pretonic, and then the one before that is the pro-pretonic. So we go to an open pro-pretonic syllable. We don't have one of those, here in this form. What we would reduce a comets or a 𝀭 there. We don't obviously have a pro-pretonic syllable. So then we'd go to an open pretonic syllable, which we do have. And if there was a 𝀭 in there, then we would reduce it. And that's what we had. We had a 𝀭. So 𝀭mo goes to 𝀭mo. 𝀭mo. By the way, if you have questions about this, please put them in the side chat and tag me if you would at Digital Hammurabi. Awesome. So we've got our form 𝀭mo, but here, that's not all we have. We have this 𝑢 in front of it. So the conjunction 𝑣 normally looks like that, right? And you've learned a rule probably if you've taken Biblical Hebrew. You've learned this rule that if you have 2 𝀭s in a row, sometimes, well, let's not even get into that. Oops. How do I? There's eraser. Okay. Let's just keep it simple. So we know that if a word starts, if the first vowel in a word is a 𝀭, that instead of 𝀭, you get 𝀭Support. You get 𝀭. So the form is a shorek. The form is a shorek. Before a word that begins with a vocal 𝀭. I don't know if anybody's ever told you how they distinguish the sounds O and U. A cholam vav and a shorek. This one is it's like O, and this one is like ooh. Okay. Now, if you think about it, if you get hit in the head, you will often go, oh, right? Oh, I mean, that just makes more sense. But if you get hit in the stomach, right in the middle, it's ooh. Ooh, I mean, that makes sense, right? And so that's, oh, ooh. That's how they did it. And that's how you can remember the difference between the dot, the vowel, the point being up here or being here in the middle. Oh, ooh. If it's up high, you're going to get an O sound. If it's in the middle, you're going to get an U sound. And this, my friends, is scientific. Okay? Don't think it's not. So, 𝀭Support Yaakov. So, and his name was Jacob. All right, second sentence. Lo haya lahem lechem o pri. And I would expect that to be a spirantized pay, but whatever. O pri le'echol, v'lo haya yain lishtot, v'gam kesef lo haya b'veitam. This is going to be a fun one. They're all fun though, right? Anything in Hebrew is fun. Okay. Oh, is there a question? Oh, sorry, it's not for me. Okay. So there was not to them, same kind of construction here. There was not to her. Now it's there was not to them, him. Lechem, bread. O, pri. O is or, and pri is like fruit. Le'echol, to eat. V'lo haya yain lishtot, and there was not wine to drink. V'gam, and also, and even, kesef, silver or money. Lo haya b'veitam, was not in their house. So let's go ahead and break that down. Got a question. Did Arabic come from Hebrew? Even the idea of come from, Arabic's just another Semitic language. I don't know the history of Arabic when it developed. But so I won't even answer it because I can't. It's not my specialization. But it'd be highly suspect. It's just a Semitic language. It's just a cognate. I would imagine. In fact, when you think about Proto-Semitic, you use Arabic to reconstruct Proto-Semitic. So no. But anyway, good question though. I gotta move this down so you guys can see it. Okay, so lo haya. We know that lo is no or not. Haya, he, she, or it was. I mean, sorry, he was or it was. So there was not, it was not to them, there was not to them, lahem, lechem, bread, opri, fruit. So pretty easy. Then le'echol. So Aleph Kaf Lamed means to eat. So ochel is food. Trying to think of something else that has ochel in it. Or ayin. Aleph Kaf Lamed. But anyway, so achal is to eat or he ate. So where's my answer? There it is. The form here, put that in a different color. Le'echol, you can see this is an infinitive construct. Oftentimes you'll just see, it's probably just better for me. You'll see it without the lamed, echol. But this one has the lamed on it, so le'echol is an infinitive construct. The other type of an infinitive is called an infinitive absolute, but this one is just simply, usually you just translate it, not always, obviously, but you just translate it to something like to eat, to run, to swim. So there was not to them bread or fruit to eat. So they didn't have these things to eat. Le'echol. Velo haya yain, neither or and there was not. Velo haya, there was not, ostensibly to them. Wine to drink, lishtot. So this is from Shata. So shin, tav, hey, and we know that third hey verbs. Again, remember those heys are very weak, right? Remember that big gap that's there. I mean, how is a hey gonna hold up, right? It's not. It's just gonna go away, right? Because it's not strong. It's not strong. So in the infinitive form, we've got lish tot. What was I going to say about that? I don't remember. So to drink. So they didn't have wine to drink. V'gam kesef lo haya b'veitam. So, and even kesef, money, lo haya was not b'veitam. So let's do that form. That's a fun form. So the word bait we know is house. Let's do it this way. If we want to say in the house, we would say, right, bait. It's got the ending on it. Okay. Now, if you put this ending on, is the third masculine plural ending. So there, T-H-E-I-R. Lots of interesting things happen to this form because the accent shifts. And we know when the accent shifts, all kinds of crazy things can happen to the vowels. So let's see if we can figure out what happened here. First of all, when you have an ending like this, a suffix like this, the suffix makes the noun already in the God, why can't I think of the word? It's like it has it makes it definite, so it's a definite word, and you can't have a definite article and something else that makes it definite, right? So what happens back here automatically when you put that ending on is the hey pathak doubling dot scenario goes away, and you just put the regular form of the preposition on the front. So buh. So if you look at the form that we have there, where is it? It starts here with just buh. Now you'll notice that there's a tsere here. And if you remember from what happens with your accent shifts, if you have these vowel patterns, aye and ave. These two vowel patterns, aye and ave, when the accent is on that syllable, it maintains these sort of diphthongs, right? These aye, ave form. However, when the accent shifts off of that syllable, let me get rid of this because I feel like it looks confusing. When the accent shifts, like it's doing here, right? Oops, you can't see that screen. Like it shifts like it's doing here. Because now the accent's down here. This aye diphthong will contract, they say, to a. So aye goes to a, and ave goes to o. So, bevetam, in their house. And there you go. Hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, don't worry. We'll go over it 1,000 more times, and then eventually it will make sense. That's how this works. Okay. I keep wanting to say verse, but it's not verse. Third sentence. Rak hayta lahem behema achat. So, like only to them was behema, like a beast, achat. So they had like one cow, one cattle. So achat is one. It's in the feminine form, which corresponds here to behema. You see that ah ending. It's the feminine form. Yeah, this is the feminine, and there's so let's talk about that. So haya, haya is the the third masculine singular form, and when you want to say third feminine singular, which corresponds to this feminine noun here, there are some things that happen, right? That goes to shava, which is just the common form. Shamarti, shamarta, shamar, shamar, shamara. However, you notice that you don't have hayaha, you have hayata. Why is that? Well, we've been talking about how weak the hey is. By the way, when I use the, hopefully this makes, doesn't really have to be said, but I'm just trying to give you ways to remember this stuff. It's not really why this happens, but this helped me. So that hey is really weak. Remember, we talked about how weak it is because of the big gap here. I mean, it's not going to be able to support anything. And these endings are heavy. I mean, you see they're so heavy, they draw the accent. very often, right? So this is a heavy. These things can weigh something, right? And you can't just hang a comet's hay off the end of a hay and expect it to hold up. It's not going to. I mean, no engineer would say it was going to happen, right? So because of that, that hay has to be strengthened. And again, any engineer will tell you that. Any engineer would tell you, I say some dumbass shit. Any engineer would tell you that that hay would have to be strengthened before it could hold something. So how do they do it in Hebrew? How do they strengthen that hay so that it can hold that ending? Well, first of all, they got to close that gap, right? I mean, you got to close it. It's not going to hold anything if you have that gap in there. And they decided that the best thing to do is put a little foot here, because you think all the weight is trying to tip the word. It's trying to tip it that way. And, the best thing to do is to put a little foot here to support it, right? Then you can hang that comet's hay on the end. And now there's that weight that's coming down here. Now it's being supported because this has been shored up, here. And then it's got this little foot for support. And it just turns out that the tav was the best letter to do the job, right? So the hay turns into a tav. Right? Yeah. Okay. So anyway, haita. I can sense that some of you are making fun of me out there, but I guess that's deserved. So they only had one cattle, one beast, one cow. Okay. Here we are. Vatomer ha'em le'Yaakov b'na lemor. Kach et behemtenu ha'ira umchorota. Okay, let me read that one again. Vatomer ha'em le'Yaakov b'na lemor. Kach et behemtenu ha'ira umchorota. And the mother said to Jacob, her son, or spoke, saying, and this lemor is, everybody wants to translate it saying, which is absolutely fine. It's often just like marking quotes are coming. It can be like hati, I guess in Greek, but so saying, quote, kach, take, it's an imperative form here, et behemtenu ha'ira. So take, and kach takes bait as its object marker. Sorry. It's not, it's behema, sorry. So it takes, take et behemtenu, our cow, whatever, our cattle. Ha'ira, this is a directional hay, so to the city. Umchor ota, and sell ota, it. Let's go through that. Thank you, Iron Chariots here. I catch some of the comments when they come through. Right. So the mother said to Jacob, spoke to Jacob, her son, saying, by the way, has anybody figured out what this is yet? I mean, I imagine so. It is, can you see that? So this is what they do. Yaakov etz hagvoa. So, Jacob instead of Jack, and the high tree, the tall tree, Jack and the beanstalk, and they'll give you some, vocabulary that maybe you haven't learned yet. So, anyway, it's pretty useful book actually. Okay, Where were we? Okay, and the mother said to Jacob, her son, Benah. So Bain goes to Bain, his son. You have the mapik in the hay. So that mapik, like Eddie Munster would say, mapik. My widow's peak. And so the accent shifts here. And so this is an open propretonic syllable. An open pretonic syllable. Sarah reduces to Shava Benah. So, and the mother said to Jacob her son, or spoke to Jacob her mother. The mother spoke to Jacob her son, saying, Kach, this is from lakach. It acts like a first nun, so it just drops off in the imperative. So kach is the imperative form, masculine singular. Kachi, kachu would be the other forms. So kach et behemtenu. So let's take that one. Behema is like a beast, right? Actually, I should probably scooch that over so that we can, yeah, there we go. Behema, put the ending enu on, and enu means our, so our beast, our, cow, whatever. And now we have to figure out why it is that it's gone from behemahenu to behemtenu. Well, you can already guess that, this hay right here is far too weak, right? We just learned that. We just saw that. So, they strengthen that up there, put the little foot on, so it gives you a tav. So, where are we? Yep, there's your tav right there. But that has a dagesh in it. It has a dot. Why? Okay, so let's go ahead and syllabify this. It was behema, and before the syllable divider was there, and there was a ma here like that, right? But now, te, nu, nu, te, and then right? So that's not terribly apparent, is it? Okay. This becomes a CVC. It gets divided that way. It becomes a CVC. And because of that, now, actually, let's do it the other way. It's the easiest way to understand that. Yeah, maybe that is the better way to understand it. Okay, so without actually syllabifying it, just kind of think if the accent, no, that doesn't work, is it? Okay, sorry. The teacher in me is trying to figure out how to do this. Let's go back to this. This becomes a CVC, and because it becomes a CVC, this long vowel has to become short, and this has to reduce to a silent shava, or a shava that just closes the syllable. So behem instead of behem. So behemtenu, which is, why do I keep losing it on the screen? Oh, yeah, there it is. Behemtenu. So this is just a short E. That Sarah has gone to short E, and you have a shava there because you have a CVC. It's the short vowel needs a closed syllable. So behemtenu. That probably wasn't the clearest thing on earth. I apologize if it wasn't. All right. So, okay, Higher Evolutionary asks, sorry, I just saw that. Dr. Josh, would you say that translating lemor as saying in English is incorrect, or is it allowable since it makes the reading understandable to an English speaker? I mean, see, the thing is with translation, it's not that it's incorrect. It's like translating hine always as behold, right? You can, the thing about translation is you're trying to bring across what it actually means. So a lot of times in these languages, to bring it over into English, we wouldn't say he sacrificed a sacrifice, right? We would just say he like performed a sacrifice or something. But in Hebrew, they do say that, right? They sacrificed a sacrifice. He sacrificed a sacrifice. So the way that they show it here is it's sort of up to it. Obviously, it's up to your professor. However your professor says to do it, you should do it that way. But for me in English, what sounds better? So here, when I read this, I would either say, and the mother spoke to Jacob, saying, or, and the mother said to Jacob, her son, and then I would use this leave it untranslated, and just, explain it as it's like an open quotes. But I don't know that there's a necessarily correct or an incorrect way to do that. Good question. So, kach et behemtenu, take our, I'm going to say cow, just because that makes more sense to me. Take our beast. Ha'ira, so Ir is city. Again, if we wanted to say the city, we want to do hey path act doubling dot. And oh man, what happened to that? What happened to that doggish? It's so weird. I don't know why it keeps disappearing. Put it back in there. What? So we remember that an ayin does not like to take a doggish, so you get compensatory lengthening before it, which is why you have a comets here. So the city, but now we have this on the end. Green. Look at that. Boom. So the green, the comets hey at the end here, this is a directional hey. So if you've ever heard the phrase habaita, it's to the house, like say, ani holech habaita, I'm going home, I'm going to the house. So it's directional. It doesn't draw the accent, so the accent would be here. So ha'ira. Right, so to the city. So take our cow to the city. Ha'ira. And the pattern, the vowel patterns, Shimri, I don't have enough room. Shimor, Shimri, Shimru, Shmorna. That looks like a patach there. Sorry, hang on. Shimri. These are the imperative forms. So here, machor, so sell, machar, and you get the shorek before it because of this vocal shava. So umchor, so and sell, et or et, is your object marker. However, when you put an ending on it, it's a third, ota. So oti, otcha, otach, oto, ota, and so on. So, yes. Hey, Brian Stevens, how are you? Sorry, guys. I apologize if I don't say hi to everybody. I just happen to glance over periodically, and if I see orange or red or whatever color that is, MS makes it so I can't really see reds very well. I say hello. Anyway, so ota, and sell it. And the it there, the feminine is referring back to the behema. Okay, so Jack and the Beanstalk, you remember the story. In the name of God, most gracious, most compassionate. Not right now. Sorry. Good question, our charioteer. But let me keep going with this. Okay. So she says, take it and sell it. And of course, that's what you get in the story. So now, V'shuv habaita im hakesef beyadecha. And return, right? And here's your habaita. So here's that directional hey again. Im with hakesef beyadecha. Beyadecha. So you have an imperative here for shuv. In the masculine singular, we know what that is, habaita, and we understand this form because that's something to point out. So let's just go through it real quick. Bite, right? Accents here. Habite, that all makes sense. But normally when you put that ending on, it pulls the accent, right? And so, in that case, if the accent were to get pulled, we would expect, bite here to change to bait. But we don't have that here, do we? Right? We still see the aya diphthong. And what that tells you is the accent did not shift. It's still back here. So if that diphthong aya is accented, if that syllable is accented, then it doesn't switch to the it doesn't contract. Thank you. It does not contract to a. So that's good to know. No contraction there. So habaita, we know the accent didn't shift. Im hakesef beyadecha. So yad is hand. Echa is your ending. Actually, it's Anyway, so and because you have this object suffix in the end, you don't get the definite article showing up here. It just shows up with a, because this makes it definite already in your hand. So that explains that form. So I'm moving a little quicker because I want to get through a little more of the story than I normally do. How are we doing on time? 45 minutes. Okay. Vayakom Yaakov baboker. Vayetze baderech vayikach imo et habehema ha'achat. So vayakom from kum. So this is that cow, vav, consecutive and perfect from kum. And just what I want to point out here about this form. This is one of the times that you wish you had the Masoretic text with you, because it would tell you where the accent is, but the accent's here. And what that means is if the accent's there, this is an unaccented vowel, which means it has to be short because it's in a CVC, it's in a closed syllable. So, and of course that would make sense because it's coming from that middle weak, that vav in the middle. So instead of being calm, it's calm. So this is Jesus, what is that called? comment chatuf. Doesn't that sound right? I don't know why that doesn't sound right. Anyway, so it's an all sound. It's a short O, as opposed to what you would expect a lot of times with that vowel, that symbol. So Vayakom Yaakov. So and Jacob got up in the morning. Baboker. So in the morning. Notice the path hack and the doubling dot. That bait is just taken over the hay. In the morning. Vayetse. So from Yatsa, and this is, this tsere form is just what you see in the first yod, of consecutive imperfect to the imperfect form, so Yetse. So, and he went, baderech, in the way, in the road, vayikach, from lakach. So, and he took, and this is acting as a first nun. Been a while since I've taught this stuff. Where are you? So, yeah, trying to think of a nakam, but the first nun will assimilate oftentimes into that radical, the next consonant. And if you look, so the first lamed here in lakach does the same thing. So actually, if you look very closely, if you were to get a magnifying glass here, if you were to take a magnifying glass and look really closely, actually what you would see is a very tiny lamed there. That dot's not actually a dot. It's a very, very tiny lamed. It's been really squished down. It's not, but you'd have to have the magnifying glass to see it. That's really important. And he took imo with him, et habehema hachat. So the single, cattle, single cow, whatever. Okay. Vayar ish zaken belechto baderech. So this one's interesting to me. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out if ish zaken here is the object or the, so is this, and Jacob saw an old man when he went in the road, or yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, that's how I'm going to translate that, because I would expect and like Oto or something. I would expect some sort of an object. Okay, anyway. Everybody in the side chat's like, I don't care. So, Vayar ish zaken belechto baderech. So, and he saw an old man when he went in the way, in the road, on the road. Okay, so let's talk about this form, belachto. So this all makes sense, hopefully, up here. Vayar, from ra'ah, to see. The third hay is dropped off. This is what happens in the cow, vowel consecutive imperfects. Ra'ah, to see. So, and he saw ish zaken. Zaken is old. Ish is man. So, an old man. Be lech to. Okay. So, how do I explain this? So, halach hey lamed kaf. When you put it in the infinitive construct form, you get la lechet. And you notice there's your lamed kaf. The hey is dropped off. And you just get this form at the end. What's another word that does this? Can't think of one at the moment. But anyway, oh, sorry, Damien just asked a question. What is the name of the book that we're reading from? It's this. The First Hebrew Primer. This is the 3rd edition. Look at the book. I think this is a great book to use. I wouldn't say that it's the best. I wouldn't say that it's the best at explaining. Maybe it's not bad though. But it's the exercises that are in it, I think, are well worth it. It's about $30. But I mean, again, the exercises like this, I think, are just phenomenal. I really enjoyed them because it's fun and you know the story and you kind of know what to expect. And yeah, I just think it's a lot of fun. Okay, so lalechet is your form that you're working with here. Where'd it go? There is this construction. There is this construction where you have usually a bait. I don't know about usually, but often a bait or a kaf. But a preposition that shows up. It can also be min, but it's a different meaning. You have an infinitive construct, and at the front of the infinitive construct is often a bait, but a preposition, and then at the end you have an object suffix. And this construction is special. I can't remember the name of it, but temporal. Is it a temporal construction? Yeah, I think it's temporal construction. But what happens is the way that you translate this with the bait here is when, then you skip to the end for the subject, he, and then you come back to the middle. Oh, whoops. Damn it. I keep forgetting that the top of my screen is cut off. So you start here at the beginning, when, go to the end, he, oops, and then you go to the verbal went, when he went. And that's how these, you read these things. Really simple. I think it's more simple anyway. It's simpler just to remember, that sort of when, and go to the end for the subject. So if this were belachtecha, or belachtecha, the cha ending when you went, or belachta when she went, and so on. So, yeah, when he went baderech, on the road or in the road. So he sees this old man. Vayomer lo ha'ish hazaken, shalom alecha, Yaakov. And the old man, so you have two articles here, definite articles, so it's an attributive adjective. So the man, the old one, so the old man said to him, lo. If it were la, it would be to her, lecha would be to you, and so on. Shalom, hi, peace, right? Alecha, peace be upon you. Alai, alecha, alaich, alav, aleha, aleha. Sorry, trying to do that from memory. Yaakov. So it's like, hi, Jacob. What the? How you know my name? And of course, that's the that's what happens. Vaya'an Yaakov alecha shalom. So, and to you, upon you, peace. All right. Vaya'an here comes from the verb ana. And when you put this construction on, again, the hay is very weak. It's very light, right? So it drops off. And of course, oops. That nun, damn it. Dang it. It has to become nun sofit, the final nun, final form. So vaya'an, and he answered, and Jacob answered, peace be upon you. Uvelibo Yaakov amar, lo ra'iti et ha'ish hazeh ad ata, achu yodea et shmi, ma chacham hu. So, but or and notice this vav here could, in English, it's probably going to come across as but here. So he says hi back, but he says, but in his heart, talk about that in a second, Jacob said, Lo ra'iti et ha'ish hazeh. I have not seen the man, this man, ad ata, until now. I've never seen him before. However, he, Yodea, knows et shemi, my name. Mechachamhu, how wise is he? Like, as an exclamation. So let's talk about this. So, lev is heart. Ba-lev would be in the heart. But when we put this O, his heart, ending on, we have to get rid of this, definite article marker, because you can't have more than one. You already have a definite, something that's making that noun definite there, and you can't have another one here. You can only have one. There can only be one. So, and it's not levo. So the word lev is a geminate from levav. I think it's a comments. Can't remember. But when you see it in these forms, oftentimes the second bait will show itself again. So that's what's going on here. So there are two baits there. Lib, bo. So lev will go to lib. So that's that form. Did I talk about all the parts of it? Oh, no. And then, of course, the vav, instead of getting va for the conjunction, you get u because of that shava. Ulibo. Uvelibo Yaakov Amar. So Amar here, cow perfect, third masculine singular from Aleph Mem Resh. Here, this is from Ra'ah, so Resh, Aleph, Hey, and these are the forms that you get. Ra'iti, Ra'ita, Ra'it, Ra'ah, Ra'ata, and so on. Thank you, Ori Bench. So he says, Yehoshua yesh lecha lev gadol. Toda rabba. It's very kind. I appreciate that. I have a big heart. I really appreciate that. This is fun for me. I don't want anybody to think this isn't fun. I like Hebrew. Okay. So ra'iti is just the form that we get. This is the cow perfect first common singular from ra'a. So I have not seen et, definite object marker. Ha'ish hazeh, so zeh is this. Hazeh is, just showing you that it's an attributive, it's acting attributively to ish here. So the man, this one. So I have not seen this man. Ad, like until. Ata, now. So I haven't seen this man until now. Ach, however, hu yodea. So this is a collective participle, masculine singular. So yodea, yoda'at, yodim, yodaot. So yodea, and this is just using it like as they're using it here as like a present tense, but it's a participial form. He is knowing, he knows, et shemi, so my name. So again, shame is the noun name. When you put the E ending on it for my, of course, the mem is no longer a mem sophite, but now you have, now you have a pretonic syllable here. And that pretonic syllable is open and it's unaccented. And it has its ere, so it has to reduce to shemi. But he knows my name. Me chachamhu, so ma here is me, probably because of the chet in chacham. Where are we? There we are. In chacham, so chacham is like wise. So what or how wise is he? So he's very wise. Of course, that's going to play into the story. So vayomer hazaken. So this here is a substantival adjective. Hazaken, the old one, the old man. And the old man said, Ma ta'aseh im habehemah hi. What are you doing? What will you do? Ma'aseh, ta'aseh, ta'asi, ya'aseh, ta'aseh are our forms. So this is a cow imperfect, second masculine singular from asa, ayin, sin, hey. So what will you do? What are you doing? With im habehema hahi. So he is the third feminine singular. Who is he? He is she. There's another one there. Ma is who is he is she. That's what it was. I remember these things. So ma is who is he, and he is she. So ma is who is he is she. It's one way to remember them. That's how I did it. Ma is who is he is she. Okay, sorry. So, right. Where were we? So, habehema hahi, he is, she, the feminine, and, pronoun. And so, what will you do with this, cow, whatever, this beast? Vaya'an Yaakov vayomer ekach ota limkor ota ba'ir. So do that again, just because I had some ums in there. Vaya'an Yaakov Vayomer ekach ota limkor ota ba'ir. And Jacob answered and said, ekach. So this is again from Lamed Kof Chet Lakach. And again, when you put the, what am I doing? You put the aleph for the first imperfect singular. The lamed becomes very, very small and goes into the kof. So what you end up with that that dot inside of the, sorry, I put the rest of it up there. That dot, that dogish inside of the kof, if you were to take your magnifying glass again, let's get the magnifying glass back out. Very good looking magnifying glass. And you were to zoom in on that dogish, you'd actually see a very, very tiny lamed all scrunched up in there. Yeah, that's the lamed is acting like a first nun when it goes in. So ekach, I will take, or I am taking. Ota, so it, her, feminine. Limkor, so this is your infinitive construct from mem kaf resh. Machar, to sell. Limkor. Ota, to sell it. Ba'ir. I know I keep going over this, but let's go over it again. If we wanted to say the city, we want hey, path act doubling dot. Damn it, where'd the doubling dot go? Just put it back in there. You guys haven't seen this before, have you? So we get compensatory lengthening, right? Because the ayin doesn't want the dogish forte. So ha'ir, and then of course we have ba'ir, and that is because that, why does it keep doing that? That super strong bait is coming in and destroying the hay, and because of how strong it is, something just happened. I thought I heard a sound, but I don't know what. Oh, sorry. So it just comes in and everything else stays in place. The comment stays in place from the definite article. It's just the preposition comes in, the bait comes in. So ba'ir. Okay. Vayomer hazaken sur midarkecha ur'ena et hazera hagadol hazeh beyadi. So, and the old man said, sur, turn aside, midarkecha, so from your path, your way that you're traveling, and si, re'eh, this is from ra'ah, imperative, masculine singular. Na is that the particle, I can't remember what it's called. A lot of people translate it like please. You don't really have to translate it. It's because it's not always please, but it's showing you that it's some, you say that either going to be an imperative, a coordinative, something like that. But anyway, it shows up often in imperatives. So, and look or see et hazera. So zera is seed. Hagadol. So again, two has in a row here, two hays, two definite articles. So this gadol is an adjective, means big. So hazera hagadol is the big seed, maybe the great seed, hazeh. And this is another adjective, attributive adjective here. So ha ha ha. It's not laughing at you, but hazera, hagadol, hazeh. This great seed, this big seed. Beyadi, in my hand. So yad, if we wanted to say my hand, we'd say yadi. Because this E ending already makes yad a definite, then you can't have ba yadi, because it already has the definite marker, or it's already made definite here. I agree, Ray 90501. This story could work better if we changed Jacob to Dr. Josh and the mother to Dr. Megan. I agree. It would be better that way. But, we have to stick to what we have. So in my hand. So turn aside from your, path and see this great seed in my hand. And he continues, Ten li et habehema ve'az eten lecha et hazera hazeh. What a deal. So ten li is from Natan. Natan. So the imperative form, tain, tani, tanu. So the first nun drops off because it's weak, and you get tain. So tain li, give to me, et habehema, the beast, cow, the az, and then etain. So here's your first nun again, etain. It assimilates into the tav. Excuse me. Lecha, to you. So etain, titain, titani, yitain, titain. There is a great battle. If you ever want to practice your Hebrew verbs, the best way that I've found to do it, like to get those paradigms down, the nifal, the piel, the pual, hitpael, if you want to get all those paradigms down and what they sound like, and their patterns, there is a book called 501 Hebrew Verbs. It used to be anyway, back in the early 2000s. It was a big white book, paperback, and I would just flip through, and at the top it would have the verb. It's the three radicals of the verb, and I would say, okay, shin mem resh. So okay, in the cow, perfect. It's shamarti, shamarta, shamar, shamar, shamara, shamarnu, shamartem, shamartem, shamaru, shamaru. And then I'd look and see, that was right, but you get weird, like your third hey or your middle week, or you'd try to say them out loud, and then you'd look at it and you go, oh wait, the middle week has this form, or the first nun is done this way. It's actually a really good resource for it. So you can, I was a nerd, I suppose, is what I'm saying. So there you go. But it helped a lot. So give to me the cow, the beast, and then I will give to you hazera hazeh, et hazera hazeh. So this seed. Vaya'an Yaakov, ma tov li zera. Good question. I guess if you're planting a garden or something. So he answers, and Jacob answers. So from Anah, Vaya'an, from Anah. So ayin nun hey, hey dropped off. Vaya'an, ma tov li zera. What, like literally, what is good to what good to me is a seed. Oops, not you. Come on, really? Ma tovli, what good to me is a seed. So tov is good, li is to me, and zera, of course, is seed. So Jacob answered, what good is a seed to me? Vayomer hazaken, im tikach et hazera hagadol hazeh, yehyu lecha zahav v'chesef rav. Obviously, right? I mean, that makes sense, doesn't it? So, and the old man said, if im tikach, you take, from lakach again, et, so there's your scrunched up little lamed in the middle of the kof there. If you take et hazera hagadol hazeh, same construction we saw up there, this great seed or this big seed, whatever, this is a cal imperfect, third masculine plural from haya, so yihyu. They will be to you. This is how you say you will have, right? Seen it before already. Zahav, gold. V'chesef, silver. Rav, like a lot, much. So if you take this seed in place of your cow, that's very kind of you, Urbench. I don't think I'm very wise, but that's kind. I appreciate it. It's always there's so many people that know Hebrew so much better than I do. I'm just glad I have the opportunity to kind of come on here and do this because maybe it'll help some people. Anyway, so if you take this great seed, this big seed, there will be to you much silver and gold. Im tasim et hazera ba'adama balayla, יחיה לך בבוקר עץ גבוה מכל העצים אשר ראית עד היום הזה. So if you set et, your direct object marker, so this is from sim, tasim. If you set, so cal imperfect, second masculine singular from sim. If you place, set, hazera, the seed, ba'adama. So adama is like the ground. Notice there's a comets here. It's because the aleph doesn't want to take a dagesh. Balayla, in the night. So lila is night. Balayla, in the night. So if you set the seed in the ground in the night, yihye lecha, there will be, so ehye, tihye, tihi, yihye, tihye. There will be, this is a cal imperfect, third masculine singular from haya, to you, lecha, baboker, in the morning. Boker is morning. If you guys have seen that coffee, I think it's called Boker, Boker Tov. Boker Tov is good morning, right? So I think there's a coffee called Boker Tov, good morning coffee. Baboker, in the morning. It's gavoa. This is a furtive patach, so it you know, we would expect what am I doing here? You would expect sorry. You would expect that this pathak here would be pronounced after the hey, because that's how it normally works. But it's not. This is actually, you pronounce the gimel, then the comets, then the vav, then the cholam, then the patach, pathak, then the hey. So it's gavoa, gavoa. It's a furtive patach. So gavoa means high or tall, right? So where are we here? Can you guys still see that? Let me scroll down just a little bit. How are we doing on time? 1:21. Okay. I can keep going if you like. there will be to you in the morning, you will have in the morning, ets gavoa, a tall tree. Mikol ha'etzim, so from among, or not from among, from every, or all of the trees. So it's going to be taller than. So this min is a like a comparative. So it will be tall from. How do I do this? So if you have one tree here, right? And you have all these other little trees here. The word min means from, right, or away from. So if you say something is tall away from all the other ones, like it's this tree right here, instead of saying taller than, they say it's taller min. It's taller away from, taller from all the other trees. So a tree taller from all the trees, kol ha'etzim, all the trees, asher. So asher is the older form, that you see in modern Hebrew today. You get she, and then you get a word. But this is asher. Right. So asher is which or that. Ra'ita. So the ta ending here, you recognize as a second masculine singular. So this is a cow perfect second masculine singular from ra'a. Ra'ita ad hayom hazeh. Ad is until, hayom, the day, hazeh, this day. So in the morning, there will be to you, you will have a tree taller than all the trees which you have seen until this day. I know it sounds sort of roundabout, but there you go. And he finishes up. Can you see that? You can. Ten li et behemtecha tachat hazera hagadol hazeh. So, ten li, give, from Natan, give to me, et, direct object marker, your beast. I keep wanting to say beast. It's like your cow, your cattle. Tachat. Tachat often means under, right? Ani tachat hashulchan. I am under the table. But tachat can also be like in place of. So in place of hazera hagadol hazeh. This big or this great seed. I think I have a question. Are you thinking of translating your new book into Hebrew? Oh, I'm in no way qualified to do that. We could definitely hire someone to do that, but it's funny. I spoke modern Hebrew. I don't know if I've said this before, but I spoke modern Hebrew to my oldest daughter for the first year and a half of her. I read, a bunch of stories while she was still in the womb to her, and then when she came, when she was born, I only spoke Hebrew to her for a year and a year and a half, 2 years. The problem is that, I definitely couldn't do that anymore. It's been a long time since I've done that. I don't know why I said that. Oh, so for me to translate into modern Hebrew technical terminology like that, it would probably be not very good. Right. It's good. I appreciate you asking though. It's flattering. Did we translate that? Yeah, we did. Okay. So, Vayomer Yaakov belibo. So, and Jacob said in his heart, we saw this same form up there, his, in, and then lev, levav. You get the doubled bait here, libbo, in his heart. So he said to himself, Im yavo kesef, v'gam zahav min hazera hagadol hazeh. So if silver and even gold will come from this great seed. So yavo is from bo. So avo, tavo, tavo, yavo, tavo. If silver and even gold will come from this great seed, tov li lakachat et hazera. It is good to me. Lakachat, so this is from lakach. This lamed is not the first radical in lakach. It's the lamed of the infinitive construct form. So lakachat, it is good for me, or good to me, to take, lakachat, et hazera, the seed, velatet, and to give. So Natan goes to right, latate in the infinitive construct form. And to give, la zakein. So zakein is old. Ha zakein would be the old one, the old man. And I know I go over this stuff a lot, but it's the way it sticks. That lamed is coming in, and it's really strong, really powerful, and it blows up, destroys that hay, because the hay is not terribly strong. And so you end up with la zakein, which is what you get here, la zakein, and to give to the old man et habehima, the beast. Man, we've done a page. And it's 128. Okay, well, you know what? This is probably a pretty good place to stop. You guys let me know in the comments section if you'd rather me continue on with the story here, the Hebrew Jack and the Beanstalk, or if you would rather me go back to 1 Kings, or if you'd like me to alternate. Please let me know in the comments below. Please be sure to like the video. Appreciate you guys all coming and watching. Liking the video really helps. Commenting apparently really helps. And of course, if you haven't if you haven't subscribed and hit the bell, please do that. It's also very helpful. We're very close to 14,000 subs. So yeah, that would be great. If you haven't watched, we have started, we just finished the second week of the HAP Scholarship interviews, so check those out. We've interviewed 6 candidates already, and it's been great. A lot of Hebrew Bible archaeologists. Yeah, it's been really neat. So anyway, well, guys, thank you so much for coming, and until next time, resist poor scholarship. Always ask, how do you know that?